You feel it, don't you? The hum of conversation that sounds like static. The easy laughter that finds no echo inside of you. You are there, a body in a room, but your spirit is somewhere else entirely. You watch them perform the rituals of belonging, and you feel a strange, cold distance, a sense of profound and unshakable solitude, even when surrounded by 100 smiling faces. You've been told this is a defect, a social anxiety, a weakness. They see a flaw to be corrected. Nietzsche saw a first principle. They want you to repair the gap between you and them. But what if that abyss is not something to be filled, but a sacred space to be explored? What if this feeling is not a failure, but a prerequisite for something greater? To understand this, you must first understand Nietzsche's diagnosis of the herd. The crowd huddles together for warmth, the tepid, recycled warmth of shared assumptions. Its highest law is the elimination of suffering, which means the elimination of greatness. Its moral code, herd morality, champions pity and agreeableness, not as virtues of strength, but as anesthetics designed to soothe the resentful and restrain the noble. The herd instinct is to grind down every sharp edge until all are the same, safe and small. It offers safety, yes, but it is the safety of domestication. Nietzsche gave this instinct of yours a name, the pathos of distance. It is not arrogance. It is the soul's involuntary recognition that it breathes a different air. It is the feeling of the eagle in a cage of sparrows, the first realization that the bars are not its world. You are not failing to connect with them. You are beginning to successfully connect with a deeper part of yourself, a part that instinctively recoils from the values of the herd. This is the uncomfortable truth. That feeling of being alone is a sacred alarm. It is your spirit's immune response to the sickness Nietzsche diagnosed over a century ago, the relentless push to create the comfortable, secure, and passionless last man. It is a sign that you are being called away from the marketplace of cheap opinions and summoned to the mountain where new values are forged. So let them keep their warmth. Let them huddle in the grey comfort of the known. Your path lies elsewhere. That feeling you've been taught to fear, that state you've been told to cure, holds the very key to your power. They call it loneliness. I will show you its true name. The beginning, a beginning. But the beginning of what? Every path that leaves the crowd leads into the wilderness of solitude. But not all wildernesses are the same. Not all silence speaks the same language. There are two paths a spirit can take, two fundamentally different kinds of aloneness. One leads to a fortress, the other to a mountaintop. It is vital you understand the difference, because one is a prison, and the other is a birthplace. First, there is the solitude of the prisoner. This is the solitude of the strategist, the prince, the CEO, the man who sees the world as a chessboard of threats and opportunities. He retreats into his fortress, not out of a love for silence, but out of a deep and abiding fear of men. His walls are built from paranoia, his silence a calculated shield. Every person is a potential dagger, every friendship a future liability. He isolates himself to preserve what he has won. There is a kind of power here, yes, the cold, sterile power of the unbreachable wall. In his isolation, he gains clarity. He can make moves without the distraction of sentiment. He can observe his enemies from the safety of his battlements. He protects his secrets, controls the flow of information, and makes himself unreadable, untouchable. He masters the art of survival. But you must see this for what it is: a defensive crouch, a life spent reacting to threats, real and imagined. His power is entirely defined by the world he has shut out. He is a king, yes, but a king in a dungeon of his own making, forever listening for footsteps in the hall. But I did not bring you here to teach you how to build a better prison. There is another path, a higher path. This is the solitude of the creator. This is the solitude of the artist, the philosopher, the saint, the spirit who ascends, not to hide from the world, but to gain the perspective to remake it. He seeks the mountaintop not for safety, but for the thin, clean air where great thoughts are born. His solitude is not motivated by a fear of others, but by a profound need to finally meet himself. It is not an act of preservation, but an act of creation. It is an offensive move. The prisoner and the creator both dwell in silence, but their silences could not be more different. The prisoner's silence is strategic, a tool to intimidate and confuse his rivals. The creator's silence is sacred, the necessary condition for the soul to speak its own truth. The prisoner enters solitude to escape the daggers of men. The creator enters solitude to face the abyss within himself. The prisoner builds walls to keep the world out. The creator seeks elevation to see the world whole. The prisoner's loneliness is the price of his power. The creator's aloneness is the source of his. Do you see the fundamental difference? The prisoner is still a slave. He is a slave to his enemies, to his paranoia, to his possessions. His life is a constant reaction. The creator, on the other hand, is the only true sovereign. On his mountain, far from the noise of the herd's praise and blame, he becomes his own lawgiver, his own judge, his own source of value. He does not seek to protect his old self. He seeks to overcome it, to chisel away his own weaknesses until a higher form emerges. This is the true meaning of Nietzsche's will to power, not the petty urge to dominate others, but the divine fire of self-mastery. One path leads to an empty throne surrounded by walls of fear. The other to a new heaven, born from the crucible of the self. You have felt the call to leave the crowd. Now you see the two paths that lie before you. But before you can begin the ascent, you must first understand the true nature of the gravity that holds you down. You must understand the noise you are trying to escape. You stand at a fork in the road. One path leads to the cold safety of the fortress, the other to the dangerous freedom of the mountaintop. To begin the ascent, you must do more than just walk. You must achieve escape velocity. You must break free from a force you feel every day, but may have never given a name: the gravitational pull of the herd. This gravity isn't physical. It is psychological. It is the constant, invisible pressure of a billion other minds, the endless hum of their opinions, their expectations, their judgments. It is the noise that drowns out the faint, vital signal of your own soul. This noise operates through two primary frequencies: praise and blame. From your first breath, you were trained to crave their praise and fear their criticism. You were taught that their applause is the measure of your worth, and their disapproval is the proof of your failure. Nietzsche saw this for what it is: the perfect control mechanism. The praise of the herd is a cage. It tempts you to repeat the tricks they enjoy, to become a predictable performer in their circus. The criticism of the herd is also a cage. It bullies you back into line whenever you stray too far from the accepted pasture. To be free, you must become deaf to both. You must find a center of gravity within yourself so powerful that neither their cheers nor their jeers can move you. This is what Nietzsche called the path of distance. It is not arrogance. It is the soul's involuntary recognition that it breathes a different air. It is the feeling of the eagle in a cage of sparrows. The first realization that the bars are not its world. This distance is not about looking down on them. It is about seeing from higher up. It is the necessary space you must create to perform the most dangerous and essential work of a free spirit, the revaluation of all values. You were born into a forest of their signposts. They gave you their maps, their compasses, their definitions of good and evil. Be humble, they said. Be compassionate. Be agreeable. These are the virtues of the herd, designed for a single purpose, to make the individual manageable. Pity erodes the strength to make hard decisions. The demand for equality seeks to cut down the tallest trees. Humility asks you to apologize for your own fire. These are the ethics of the flock, and their goal is to keep you safely inside the fence. To find your own north, you must first leave the forest of their signposts. You must walk into a wilderness where their maps are useless. In the silence of that distance, you can finally begin to question everything. Is pity a virtue, or is it a condescending poison? Is humility a strength, or is it a mask for fear? Is your ambition a sin, or is it the holiest part of you? Solitude is the workshop for this sacred demolition. It is the only place you can burn away the labels they have seared onto your soul. It is where you stop being their creation and begin the terrifying, exhilarating work of becoming your own. This is why you must walk away. Not as an escape from life, but as an escape into it. You must seek the distance where the air is clear, where their noise fades, and where, for the first time, you can finally hear yourself think. But what, exactly, will you find when you get there? What happens when the noise finally fades and you are left alone with the deafening silence of your own soul? You have walked the path of distance. You have left the forest of their signposts and escaped the gravitational pull of the herd. The noise of their world has finally faded to a distant whisper, and you are left alone in the great silence with a single deafening question. What now? You came here seeking clarity, seeking your own voice. But what you find first is not peace. The external noise is gone, yes, but now you can hear a much older, much louder noise for the very first time. The noise of your own soul, all the doubts you have suppressed, all the fears you have outrun, all the ambitions you were taught to be ashamed of. They are all here, waiting for you in the quiet. You are left alone with the raw, untamed wilderness of yourself. And when you gaze into that abyss, as Nietzsche promised, it does gaze back into you. Do not mistake this for meditation. Do not confuse this with the comfortable modern lies of finding yourself. You do not find the self like a lost trinket. You forge it. This is not a retreat. It is a crucible. The wilderness is not a place of gentle healing. It is the anvil where you will be broken and remade. This is the ordeal, the holy war, and the enemy is the weakest part of yourself, the part that whimpers for the comfort of the herd, the part that begs for the anesthesia of praise, the part that would rather be a well-fed sheep than a hungry eagle. This is the great and terrible process Nietzsche called self-overcoming. You are both the blacksmith and the steel. Every fear you confront is a hammer blow. every comfort you deny yourself is the fire that keeps the metal malleable. Every old, inherited value you cast into the flames is a purification. It is a painful, violent process. You must become the monster to your own mediocrity. You must become the tyrant to your own weakness. You must be willing to burn down the comfortable cottage of the self they built for you, so that you can build a temple on its ashes. And what is the purpose of this brutal alchemy? Why embrace this chaos? Because, as Zarathustra proclaimed, I tell you, one must still have chaos in oneself to be able to give birth to a dancing star. This is one of the most profound secrets of creation. The herd fears chaos. They seek to organize it, sanitize it, regulate it, and ultimately extinguish it. The Creator does the opposite. The Creator descends willingly into the chaos of his own soul, into the abyss, and gathers the raw material, the pain, the passion, the darkness, the longing. He gathers it all. He does not deny it. He uses it as fuel. The dancing star is the new value born from your struggle. It is the masterpiece of a life lived authentically. It is the unbreakable will forged in the fire of self-confrontation. It is a law unto itself. This is the will to power in its highest form, not the pathetic desire to rule over other men, but the godlike power to rule over the chaos of the self, to impose your own will upon your own being, and to create a new order from it. This is a power that is truly your own. No one can give it to you, and no one can ever take it away. The ordeal ends. The hammer falls silent. The fire cools. The sun rises. You have not destroyed the abyss within you. You have turned it into a well. You have not slain your inner monster. You have tamed it and given it your name. You are not perfect, but you are whole. You have faced the deafening silence and filled it with your own purpose. You have forged a star from your own chaos. You have become the master of your own inner world. But what now? Does the Creator remain on his mountain, admiring his work in isolation? Or does he return? Does the Creator remain on his mountain, admiring the star he has forged? Does the eagle stay forever in its nest? The answer is Nietzsche's final, radical truth. The Creator returns, but he does not return the same. He does not return to beg for entry at the city gates. He does not return seeking a seat at their table. He returns as a force of nature. He returns as a new standard. The prisoner, the strategist, if he ever leaves his fortress, returns to the same game of shadows and daggers. He is still a player on their board, defined by their rules. The Creator returns as the board itself. He is what Nietzsche called a higher man, not higher in status, but in being. He is the lion who walks among sheep. He does not hate the sheep. He does not wish to rule them. He is simply and completely of a different nature. His presence alone is a question that the herd has no answer for. This is the ultimate secret of his power. He has internalized his solitude. The mountaintop is no longer a place he must go to. It is a state he carries within him. He has a silent, untouchable core, a portable wilderness in the center of his own soul. He can stand in the most crowded marketplace and be completely, utterly alone with his own thoughts. He can listen to their most passionate arguments and remain unmoved. He has no need for external walls, because his own integrated spirit has become an impenetrable fortress. This changes everything. He no longer seeks power. He is power. His power is not in what he does, but in who he has become. His silence is now heavier than their speeches. His calm is more unnerving than their rage. His indifference to their praise is more profound than any insult. He has stopped playing the game of explanation, of justification. He does not need you to understand him. He does not need you to agree with him. His very existence is his only argument. This, then, is the truth about solitude. It is not an escape from life, but a journey to its deepest core. You first feel it as a strange alienation from the crowd. You learn to choose it, not as a fortress, but as a creator's workshop. You walk the path of distance to escape the noise of their world. You endure the ordeal in the wilderness to forge a new world within yourself. And then you return. You return whole. You return free. You return alone, yes, but no longer lonely. For the man who has successfully become his own companion can never truly be alone. Stop trying to find your place in their world. Go into the wilderness, endure the fire, and become a world of your own, X.